Backlogs, backlogs, backlogs. As a student, who doesn't have backlogs? Let it be a school-going student, a college-going student, a NEET aspirant, JEE aspirant, or me who's a medical student. Everyone has backlogs. And if one doesn't try to clear all these backlogs, this will just keep adding up, and one day we'll be left with a pile of backlogs which is very hard to finish and complete. I have some of the backlogs even today, but from some days I've been trying so hard to finish all these backlogs, and in the process I have come across certain ways that will actually help people to cover up all the backlogs effectively. Even if you take the example of someone who is very studious, plans his day accordingly, studies all that is done on a particular day, he will also be left with certain backlogs. And in this video, I'll be talking about all those simpler ways that I have been following from quite some days that have helped me and will definitely help you also if you follow it very seriously. Hi everybody, I'm Kaveri. I'm a third year medical student in BGS Global Institute of Medical Sciences, Bangalore, India. Without any further delay, I'll get started. The first and the most important thing for you is to know that you have a backlog. If you don't check from time and again, you will never know that you have a backlog. And if you don't know that you have a backlog, you will never want to study right. Only when you know that you have a backlog, you will put some interest and you will put some effort to try to finish that backlog. That is why it is very important for you to know that you have a backlog. Check from time and again. That will give you an insight as to how much you are left with studying and how much time you have to finish all those. If you do not know, you're not going anywhere. You will be left with those pile, and some more things will get added to the pile, and on one fine day it will be very harder for you to finish all those backlogs. So firstly, get to know where you're standing and the time that you have to finish all those backlogs. Secondly, do not panic. Once you get to know all the backlogs that you have, it is obvious that you will have a lot of backlogs, and it will definitely make you panic a lot. And many studies have proved that when you panic, it will ultimately decrease your productiveness, increase your rate of mistakes. And when you panic, you won't be thinking clear head. And when you don't think clear head, it will decrease your efficacy as a person. Panicking will automatically put your mind either to fight mode or flight mode. Both of these will lead to such a situation where you won't understand whatever you're reading, hearing, or seeing clearly. That's why it is important for you to think clear head whenever possible. Even if you get to know that you have a lot of backlogs, try to remain calm and positive and think clear headed so as to bring in a proper plan to help you utilize the time properly and to finish all the backlogs that you have. Always be aware, but do not panic. Once you're aware and you're not panicking, your next step is to build a roadmap. Now, making a proper plan with information like the most important topics, less important topics, the topics that require a lot of time, less time, the topics that have continuity with the topics that are dealt presently, and other important details like if you require an assistant guidance to study it, if you have to watch videos to study it, will make your work even more simpler. You can always include the time that you have and the time that you can give to studying those topics every day in your plan. Once you have a plan, it is like a roadmap and will guide you from time and again as to how you can go through and complete all your works. Planning is fact-based and will always help you accomplish a lot of tasks that you have for the day or in the future. Planning beforehand will increase your success rates. That's why always build in a roadmap and try to follow it so that you can complete all your backlogs effectively. Now, once you're ready with all these, the most important thing for you is to realize that present is always more important than past. Present, important, more important than past. If you do not study all the topics that are done today, it will just add to your existing pile of backlogs, and your backlogs will be just ever increasing. The mole becomes the mountain. So just make sure that you finish the present ones as soon as possible and try to devote 1 to 1.5 hours a day or half an hour to 1 hour a day to finish all the backlogs. And when you're doing backlogs in that little time of half to 1 hour, make sure that you finish all the most important topics first, topics with most weightage first, topics that are having continuity with the present topics first. It so happens that when you're studying certain topics which are taught presently, you will not get a proper continuity. You might feel like you can study these only if you have a proper base of the topics that were taught earlier. So try to complete those topics first. You can cover up the less important topics as time goes by and eventually. When I was in college, I had to go for an event in New Delhi for about 10 days. When I came back, because my college was from 7 to 7, every day I had a lot of backlogs. I had to read a lot, complete a lot. I was stressed and I was messed up. And on top of all these, I wouldn't understand what was going on day-to-day class because I did not know what had happened earlier. And one of my favorite teachers told me, because I usually listen to class, or if any one of you are usually listening to class, it is always wise to finish the topics that are done presently. Because when you have understood the class, you've heard to class, it will take very less time for you to finish the newer topics. He said, do the newer topics first, and if you have time by the end of the day, devote at least half an hour to complete all those topics that were done earlier. And the topics that were done earlier, because I wouldn't have heard to those classes, it will obviously take a lot of time for me to finish. And he said even after I tried hard and did not understand some of those, I should go to a friend or a teacher and ask about those and finish. And I started to follow this, the strategy of present more important than the past. And eventually by the time of exams, I was able to finish all that I had to do. And from that day, I made sure to follow it everywhere. And no amount of thanks to that teacher will be ever enough. Always remember present more than past. And don't pile up newer things to your existing huge pile and make it even more gigantic. Finish present ones. Devote little time to the backlogs so that as time goes by, you won't have new backlogs. Plus, you'd have cleared off all the old backlogs and you will be up to date. The last point is prerequisites before the rest. Now, when you're trying to cover up your backlogs, always pay more heed to those topics which are in direct continuity to all those that you're studying presently. And in the process, if you're not able to understand something, go to a friend or watch videos or ask someone who has already studied it to explain to you. In this process, you will understand it better, and also it will decrease your time that you have to devote in studying those. If you're new to a subject and if you're studying it all by yourself, it actually takes a lot of time compared to you studying it after you have been explained by someone else. And when you study linking chapters together, it will add to your learning process like anything. So keep all these in your mind and try to complete all your backlogs. These 5 ways definitely help me cover up all my backlogs, and it will surely help you also if you follow it seriously. That's pretty much everything in this video. I have made so many other useful videos on how to read from big books and how to remember better, how to get distinctions, how to not flunk, how to clear your exams, the popular study techniques which are 100% effective, and so many more. I have left the link of all these videos in the description box below. Go to those videos and watch even those because they are extremely useful. If you have watched this video and if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe button, bell icon, and share my videos with your friends and family who are interested in content like this. I'll be coming up with many more interesting and effective study videos and so many other videos related to medical life and vlogs. So stay tuned to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.